Welcome into the CBS Sports College Basketball page. I'm your host, Adam Finkelstein, and we have yet another exciting commitment for you here today. In fact, we have two different commitments for you today. The first is Chase Foster, one of the very best forwards in the entire country. He starred for Team Mello on the EYBL circuit and is returning to IMG Academy for his senior season. Let's take a look at the prospect profile for Chase Foster, a four-star prospect, ranked number 33 overall in the country after, as we said, that terrific summer on the EYBL. One of the 10 best power forwards in the country. You see where he ranks in the state of Florida. 6'8", 210 pounds, long arms, athletic, and a world of upside. We are talking about someone who's developing his inside-out skills. You see the shooting that he is starting to develop here. He's been able to stretch the floor. His core competency is really his athleticism and the physical tools, but the extension of his skill set was on full display this summer, and it was two-way versatility as well, as he put up really impressive defensive metrics in blocks, steals, and rebounding to match. But you see the physical tools, you see the budding skill and the budding versatility. That is why he had a full range of high major offers. Ultimately, he cut it down to just these four finalists. He's got Pittsburgh, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and Villanova among the schools that he will choose from today. So without further ado, we are going to go straight to IMG Academy, where Chase Foster will join the show. What's up, Chase? Welcome to the show.
It was good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for doing this. Chase, first of all, I want to ask you, and I ask this question a lot, but for someone who has been a big name player almost through your entire high school career, what have these last 4 years been like for you?
I would say it's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of pressure, but me, I just kind of keep my head down and just keep working. I try not to pay attention to all the stuff people say. So,
well, people were saying a lot of good things this summer based on the way you played. You had a terrific summer for Team Mello. Obviously, you've returned to IMG Academy, hoping to make your mark there. Before we get to the announcement at hand, I want to give you a chance to introduce us to everybody who's around you here today.
I got my assistant coach right here, Coach Trav. Then I got my teammates behind me. Then some of my other friends in the corners.
Very cool. The IMG Academy family is there to support you. Chase, let's talk about your finalists without revealing who the final choice will be here. But how did you get this list down to just a select number of schools? Because you're one of those players who picked up high major offers, like sports cards over the course of the last few years. So how did you cut it down to this final list of schools?
For me, I would say it took for me to go on my visits first. I think too, just seeing who was really making me a priority for the most part. I feel like that's kind of was my focus with all of this. So, yeah.
All right, now it's almost here, Chase. But before we get to that moment, I want to give you a chance to thank anybody who has helped you get to this point in your process.
Yeah. First off, I just want to start off by thanking God. Without him, I wouldn't be in this position I'm in today. Second, I just want to thank my parents, my mom, my dad, even my sister, just kind of being that good support system. People I feel like I always go to about anything, just kind of having my back throughout any situation. Third, I just want to thank my coaches, my teammates, people that's been, pushing me for these past couple months. And then, I also just want to thank Team Mello, the whole organization, my teammates this summer, my coaches and everybody. So,
yeah. All right, Chase, the moment is here. Yeah. Tell everybody where you're going to be playing your college basketball.
With that being said, I'll be committed to the University of Pittsburgh. Don't pet me.
All right, big news for Pittsburgh. Chase Foster is off the board. Chase, let's talk about what made Pittsburgh the place for you. What was it that pushed them to the finish line?
Like I said, just when I went on my visit, it kind of just felt like home. Like I said, I feel like I always got genuine vibes from the whole coaching staff, even from the first day they reached out to me. So I would say that stood out to me the most.
All right. Now, talk to me about Coach Capel, because when I look at this fit, I feel like he could be the ideal coach for you. We know you're loaded with talent. We've seen you grow so much in the last year or two, and it feels like there could be a great connection between you and Coach Capel. What was it about Coach that really resonated?
I mean, really just his resume. Seeing some of the guys that he's coached from like Blake Griffin, Brandon Ingram, Justice Winslow, Jason Tatum. All those kind of guys that I feel like I could relate to. So I feel like that was the thing for me.
All right. Now, very last questions for those Pittsburgh fans who are watching, and I'm not sure if you've been to a game, but it gets rowdy in there.
Yeah.
What would you tell them they are getting once you arrive on campus?
A competitor, somebody that's gonna come in and work hard. I'm gonna push my teammates to get better, push myself to get better every day in practice. I just, like I said, I just want to work. I just want to come in and work.
All right. Well, Chase, I'll tell you what, before you work, you get to celebrate, and you've deserved it.
Yeah.
So you've earned it. You go celebrate with your coaches, your teammates, and we thank you for sharing this special moment here with us on the CBS Sports College Basketball page.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate it.
All right. That is Chase Foster. Huge news for Pittsburgh as he commits to Jeff Capel and the Panthers. For more on this, going to bring in 24/7 Sports Director of Basketball, Eric Bossi. All right, Ebos, I know you just watched Chase play just a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Tell the people at home, what is, in your words, we heard Chase's description, what's Pittsburgh getting in Chase Foster?
I tell you what, they're getting a guy who I legitimately think has some of the highest upside in the class of 2026. We're talking about a kid. I remember first seeing him between his freshman and sophomore year playing 15U basketball. He was this long, gangly kid who could put the ball on the floor and attack the rim, but the effort was in and out. He let his emotions get the best of him. Now he's grown. He's probably nearly 6'9" at this point. And the biggest thing is he has matured so much as a kid and a player on the floor. He's really found a groove with his game. He knows he can make face-up jump shots, but he doesn't hunt them. He can attack off the dribble. And then on the defensive end, he's super switchable. If he gets out on a ball screen with a point guard, he's going to be able to hedge that and recover. He can switch up and down the lineup. There's just so much with him that once he fills out a little bit, I really think he projects as like the prototype 4 that you're looking for in college basketball right now.
And, Bossi, you talk about the growth that we've seen in the last couple of years. Obviously, this is someone who's been very well coached. Sean McAloon at IMG Academy, John Zito with Team Mello. The fit with Jeff Capel, I think, is one of the most intriguing parts because, again, the maturation that we've seen from Chase and still all that runway for him to keep getting better. What are your thoughts about how Chase could fit in with Coach Capel?
I think what I like best about his fit with Capel is that not only does he fit what Capel's looking for out of a 4, but I've had a chance to watch Coach Capel for a long, long time since he was at OU, and he is willing to give a freshman some length. He's going to let him play through mistakes. He's going to let him be him, and he's going to encourage him to play to his strengths, even if that means a little bit of trouble at times. And as a young player coming into college, knowing that you can play through some of those things is going to be a huge benefit to him. And I think that what he's able to do on each end of the floor is eventually going to really earn him a lot of minutes, allow him to be an impact guy.
Yeah, I think that's the expectation, that he goes to Pittsburgh with a chance and an opportunity to play immediate minutes and to potentially play through his mistakes. And when you look at how they could utilize him, as they continue to develop that versatility, because listen, the length, the athleticism, the mobility, that stuff is very visible to anybody who sees him. But the progression in his skill set is going to give them a ton of optionality in their offense. We've seen them get more sophisticated in recent years. They're going to be able to weaponize his increasing versatility and do that on both ends of the floor, because I think he's going to give them versatility defensively as well, how they defend pick and roll, whether they switch 1 through 4, whether they switch 4 through 5. So as he continues to develop, and again, this is someone with an extreme ceiling who's already made great progress and has a long runway to keep doing so, he's going to give them a lot of versatility, or optionality, as coaches like to say, on both ends of the floor at Pittsburgh. So just a terrific get for Jeff Capel and his staff. For much more on this, you can head on over to 247sports.com. Check out the commitment article with more quotes and perspective from Chase, as well as my analysis. And remember, you're not going to want to go anywhere, because at 2:30, we've got Colbin Landrew set to come off the board right here on the CBS Sports College Basketball channel. That's 2:30 Eastern time. Until then, 247sports.com. Use the promo code COMMIT65 for 65% off annual VIP memberships. We'll see you at 2:30.